we'll just get started. It's 9 a.m. on a lovely Monday. Hopefully everyone is alive and awake. But today we are going to be talking about mentoring with SAE. My name is Corey Dillon. I am the Community Program Specialist. And I am joined with Andrea Avanko, our Educational Program Development Specialist. That is a very long title.
Yes, it's a mouthful.
Yes. So we're going to talk about two ways that you can participate with us in mentoring. So one is the SAE Mentor Program, where you can sign up as a mentor or a mentee. The LearnTwice program, where you can serve as a mentor to K through 12 students. Okay, so I am up first. So we are going to talk about the SAE Mentor Program. So what this is an online mentoring program for both student and professional SAE members. It connects members from across different companies and sectors, even the world. I mean, we have members from all across the world who have signed up for membership and the mentor program. So if you're looking to move abroad one day, you want to know what's going on with mobility in Germany or the UK, you can reach out to someone from that country. And this is a great program because you can personalize your preferences. So, if you really want a mentor in the automotive sector or the aero, you can make that very clear in your profile. If you're looking for certain technologies, you can make that apparent and then weight your preferences on how you want to be matched if you're going to be matched by the system. In addition, there is a recommended mentoring program connection plan. So this is just a very loose guideline of steps to go through in your 3-month mentoring connection. So the program will recommend, it's time to set up your first meeting or set your goals with your mentor or, things like that. So it's not like you're just kind of flying loose. You can follow the plans if you want. Don't have to, though, if you just kind of want to go free-flowing in your member mentoring connection. And we actually are just going to be adding new training modules to the program. So this is, kind of an intro of how to be a good mentor and mentee. Like, what does it mean to be a mentee? You can't just walk into this connection with no prep. You have to have a vision, you have to have goals and set plans. So this kind of tells you how to do that. How to get started. Pretty easy. You can go to your mobile app, whether that's Apple or Android, download the Cronus mobile app, and then you log in with your My SAE login. So this is your login credentials from SAE.org. I know that we all have way too many usernames and passwords, so we try to make this easy and just combine that with a single sign-on technology. So if you forget your password, you can email SAE customer service and they can help you reset that password. And then once you are into the program, you decide if you want to be a mentor, mentee, or both. You just go through, complete your profile, say where you are, a little bit about you, what you're studying, internships if you have any, and then you can go ahead and publish that profile. So once you complete all of the above steps, you'll be entered into a drawing for one of 5 $50 digital Amazon gift cards. So this will be determined at the end of this month, September, which is crazily only a few weeks away. So if you go in and complete your profile and publish it, you have a chance to win a gift card. So winners will be announced at the beginning of October. And then, so our 2022 SAE president, Sri Srinath, has some advice for you on managing your time for mentoring. So mentoring is really important to Sri. It's one of his presidential initiatives. It's been one of his passions throughout his entire career. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
So this is a good, I think, student-related question. One of the things that we hear a lot about is how busy they are with coursework. Obviously engineering is a very intense degree to pursue. So, we've gotten a lot of questions about how do they make time to even add mentoring into their schedules? What is your advice on some time management when students say they're just too busy?
Well, a couple of thoughts come to mind. The first thing is if you come right down and think about it, it's maybe if you spend 1 hour with a mentor in a month, right? And you spend maybe an hour preparing. It's 2 hours a month, and hopefully you are doing some mentoring as well. So it's 4, whatever it is, right? An hour a week. Think of it as an hour a week. Yes, it's a time commitment, especially if you're an engineering student. Your time is very tight. I'm not going to downplay the importance. The second thing I want to, it's kind of brings back. I think it was some kind of time management course that I ran too, way back in my career, where the coach gave us an exercise. He gave us a bottle that had a lot of sand in it, and he gave us a bunch of rocks, and asked us to put the rocks into the bottle. And of course, we were all trying to push it and jam it, and it didn't work. And then what they did was they took all the sand out of the bottle, put the rocks in first, and then they put the sand in, and then you could get it all in. It was a very important exercise that fixed the idea of what are the rocks in your life? What are the things that you want to make time for? From a time management perspective, if mentoring is important, if it's a rock, then you will find a way to make time for it. If it's just a piece of, grain of sand, then it's not important to you. So to some extent, how important is it to you? If it is important to you, you will also find a way to make time for it if you think of it as something that's critical to your growth.
All right, so
Here,
nope. Sri had a really great message there about time management. Mentoring and being mentored by somebody, or finding time to be a mentor yourself is important. You will make the time. You'll make it work. I mean, we all know how demanding it is to be a student these days, and especially when you're joining all sorts of different clubs and your coursework and just being a person, it is a lot. But, his point there with the sand and the rocks, if mentoring is one of your rocks that you want to fit into your life, you'll make it work. So we encourage you to make it work, find some time, and prioritize mentoring. There's a lot to learn. We have a lot of great mentors who have so much experience, so much technical knowledge to share with you. And so then lastly, speaking of Sri, he is hosting what we call a mentor chat in Connection Plus. So Connection Plus, if you don't know, is our member online discussion forum. So, and again, this is where you can log in with your single sign-on from sae.org and the Mentor Program. They're all tied together. So if you sign in and join, the discussion's happening September 26th and 27th. It's just an online discussion. Sri will be there to, engage with members, students, and professionals. So if you have questions for Sri, or, you want to share maybe an impactful mentoring connection you've already had, please share. He'd love to hear from all of you. And he actually provided some starter questions here to just kind of get the conversation started on the importance of mentoring. So, why find a mentor? Who makes the best mentors? What are some effective mentoring practices? This question was interesting because I've actually never really heard these two terms here, but what are the differences between a mentor, a champion, and a sponsor? So if you have any thoughts on that, please share. I would be interested to know. And then lastly, what are the benefits for the mentor from this relationship? So again, this is at Connection Plus. The URL is right there. That's connectionplus.sae.org. You can also learn more about the actual SAE Mentor Program on this site. So you can click under the little mentoring tab. Again, your login is just going to be your SAE login there. So I think that is all I have today. I'll hand it over to Andrea.
All right. And before we move on to talk a little bit about the LearnTwice program, are there any questions so far? You can either type them into the chat, and I think you can talk to us. Question mark? Not sure.
There are no questions in the chat.
All right, thanks, Scott. Since there are no questions, we'll go ahead and jump into the LearnTwice program. For those of you that aren't aware, SAE International actually has educational programs all the way from preschool, ranging up through the professional level. Obviously, those that are with us today, most of you are participating in one of our university programs. So this LearnTwice program is basically a chance for you to get involved and give back and be a mentor. So LearnTwice is basically just SAE International's mentorship program. It gets you involved with our younger students, ranging all the way down. It says on the screen kindergarten, but last year we just bumped down into preschool. If you choose to volunteer with one of our K through 8 classrooms, you will most likely be working with our A World in Motion program. So that program, we develop hands-on STEM curriculum on varying different subjects, ranging all the way from physical science to computer science. Those programs are basically ready to go. Teachers are sent a kit of materials with everything they need, from the curriculum to, again, the hands-on materials the students will actually be working with. So if you participate with that, you have a teacher-selected program. It's very easy to get involved. And again, LearnTwice is open to all active university programs teams. So as long as your team is registered for an active event, so technically right now, none of you are eligible because we haven't held registration yet. But as soon as we hold registration later this month, once you are officially registered for any of our events like Formula, SAE, or Baja, you can go ahead and start participating in our program. Next slide, Corey. All right, so a little bit about the benefits. You'll see a lot of these kind of touch on what Corey mentioned already. So benefits for you are a little bit different here because with LearnTwice, you are actually serving as the mentor to these younger students. So you have the opportunity to reinforce learning through teaching. That is why the program is actually called LearnTwice. There was a quote, I don't remember who it was by, but they said the best way to learn is to teach. And if you can actually teach someone something, it really proves that you truly understand. And one of the other key things, I won't read all of the bullets, but the very last one, this is what entices most of our teams to participate. If you participate in LearnTwice, your team is eligible for a $1,500 stipend. And that stipend can be used towards any of your competition expenses, whether it be for buying supplies to build your car or whatever you need, a software program, and travel expenses. Basically, once you've met all of the program requirements, you are triggered in our system. You send us your team's bank account information, and then we send you that $1,500 stipend. So pretty easy. Again, on the benefits for others, some of those benefits are for our students, others are for the teachers. So on the teacher's end, it's really helpful to have an extra set of helping hands. Students in their classroom are seeing that same teacher day in and day out. So if they have a near peer mentor in the classroom, they're generally more excited, more engaged. So that's why we like to get our university students involved in giving back to schools in their community. So here's a little bit of information on how to actually get started. Again, you can't do anything just yet until you are officially registered later this month. But once your team is registered for any of our competitions, you are going to recruit a pre-K through 12 classroom. New this year, in the past, for those that have participated, a few things. One, if you haven't joined us since COVID, we have transitioned everything to an online platform, which we'll talk about on the next slide. But for those that have been with us, we are actually expanding, and instead of just focusing on the A World in Motion program and primarily the kindergarten through 8th grade, we are actually expanding and offering a high school track. So if you'd like to recruit a local high school to participate, you can support any of their STEM initiatives, work with a STEM or science or technology elective. So a little bit more opportunity moving forward this year. So once you get a teacher or classroom to participate, if you are working with the A World in Motion program, SAE will take care of training. That training is offered by our AWIM team. That training is available for both your team if you're interested, and also the teacher. We like to do a training with at least the teacher to get them comfortable with the materials again. So once they get started, they can really just open up their box of materials and get moving. If you are working with a high school program, you won't necessarily need materials. Once you have everything you need, you'll actually get into your local classrooms. If in-person visits are a problem, we can work with virtual volunteering as well, but we prefer in-person visits. Each time you go into the classroom, you're going to log your volunteer hours. And you'll see again how to do that on the next slide. Pretty easy system. We are asking that all teams volunteer at least 30 hours with their classroom. Those hours can be pretty easy to get. So if, for example, if you have 4 team members in a particular classroom session for 1 hour, that will count as 4 hours towards your 30 volunteer hour requirement. So you get credit for each team member that is present for each session. And then once you've hit that 30 volunteer hour mark, that will automatically trigger the system to send you a form to send us your banking information. You'll email that to us, and then again, you'll see the $1,500 stipend either pop directly into your account, or sometimes if teams prefer, we can send you a physical check as well. So actually getting started, again, we've transitioned everything to a new online system to kind of make it easier. If, again, you haven't participated with us since COVID, you may be familiar with just emailing back and forth. You may have been working with Ken Francis or myself. So rather than relying on a single person in one-off emails, we've transitioned to a actual online module. To get to that module, it's very easy. You just log into your CDS web account. So those are dependent on what program you're participating in. So for example, if you're participating in an aero design competition, you'll go to saeaerodesign.com. Baja, you would go to your bahasae.net. And obviously those links differ for each of our events. But when you are on that main page, you will see it's a little small, but in your team member menu, there is a space for LearnTwice. You'll just click on that LearnTwice link, and then under that menu, you can find more information on the program. There's a quick description if that's something you want to share during your recruitment with the pre-K through 12 teachers. And that is actually where you'll register. And then Corey, if you bump to the next screen, when you go to register, here again is that information you'll see on the main page. At the very bottom under questions, there is a box. That box asks for your registration order number. That is the number that will appear on your invoice once you are registered. So again, until you're actively registered for the 2023 season, you can't officially register for LearnTwice on CDS Web. But once you have that registration, you simply just put it into that box, and then you click that blue button and a form will pop up. That form will ask you for information on your participating school. So it will ask for teacher information. The school address is obviously important, and a few other things, some basic information on your team. And then from there, once you are approved in the system and submit your registration, you're good to officially move on and start your hours. And again, all of this is summarized for you on CDS Web under How Do I Participate? We will also be reaching out to teams later in the season once everybody's registered to get them started, give you some basic information, and again, to advertise the LearnTwice program to those that aren't familiar with it. So those were the basics on LearnTwice. So we've had a chance to talk really about a way for you to get involved and find a mentor, and also how to become a mentor yourself and impact and be a role model for our younger students. Do we have any questions before we wrap up today?
There's nothing in the comments still.
All right, well, yeah, so you can see Sarah put in the chat, if you have any questions about mentoring, you can reach out to me. If you have any questions about LearnTwice, you can reach out to Andrea. If you want to go ahead and maybe put your email address in the chat.
Mhm.
Otherwise, check out both programs. I think, you can benefit from both, extremely well, to as you go towards your future career in mobility.
Scott, would you be able to put my email in there? I'm seeing something weird. It's telling me to add a destination to post comments, and it's not giving me any options.
Yeah, I see the same thing.
So again, if you have questions on LearnTwice, you can reach out to me. My email is andrea.evanko, so first name, last name. Oh, thank you, Sarah. There's the email there. Again, we will be reaching out to teams and sharing some more basic information as the season gets started to advertise the LearnTwice program. Corey, I'm sure we'll be sending out some information about the mentorship program for those that haven't joined the session. So yeah, that was pretty much it for today.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your kickoff today. Jump into any session that might interest you. I'm going to put a plug in for my session this afternoon. I am talking a little bit about one of our new programs coming for the 2024 season. That will be an entry-level autonomous vehicle competition. So if you're interested in learning more, join me at 12 p.m.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.